Attempted murder accused and businessman Vusimuzi Matlala is expected back in the witness box at the Madlanga Commission this morning. For more on this story, let's hand it over to Sakina and Canny at the Commission.
Well, thanks so much, Leanne, and welcome back. Welcome back. Canny and I will get straight into it because we want to talk about where the stream might lead today. But we heard yesterday about the Pagani Huayra, that sports car worth quite a bit, and the car that Angwani Morgan Maumela was attempting to sell, which was quite interesting in the slip-up as well there, because at first it was like the suggestion was that it was Mswazi Msibi who was trying to buy the car, but later on he was trying to sell the car on behalf of Mr. Maumela. But that was just interesting in terms of the kind of toys that people are playing. There was the attempt to buy an aircraft. There's this 50-odd million rand sports car and lots of money flowing, Canny.
And the kind of value attached to those properties, and you're even seeing Matlala even state that 3 million to him is not a significant transaction that would jog his memory. So it gives you an indication of the kind of money that you were dealing with, or rather you're going to be dealing with when you deal with these alleged cartels. Transactions to the tune of millions, money just moving around from different persons of interest. And it gives you slight clues about what is allegedly taking place there in terms of how the money flows find themselves from different individuals that we've heard about in certain themes across the evidence, but seemingly they're all starting to come together as Matlala takes the stand and gives significant clues about what this alleged infiltration is about.
So just coming back to today and where the evidence might lead to, again, we're waiting for the Commission to give us absolute clarity. They do tend to play their cards close to their chest. But what are we expecting from what we know so far?
Well, we have an indication that Lieutenant General Shadrack Sibiya is the focus for Matlala to answer to. He's one of the individuals that, or rather Vusimuzi Matlala was silent on, not only in the initial statement, but also in the supplementary. He doesn't give great detail about the relationship, and possibly because of the hard evidence that he's confronted with, that really you can't dispute with respect to Lieutenant General Shadrack Sibiya. And that relationship is important because it'll give you an indication of the kind of shield these alleged cartels need in order to prosper or to thrive in their alleged MO or operations. Because Lieutenant General Shadrack Sibiya is someone that Matlala made sure not to ever communicate with directly. But how you get caught out in that kind of dynamic is that you have Sergeant Fanny Nkosi, who was doing all of the alleged errands. And he comes under oath, that is Sergeant Nkosi, and states that at all times when he was interacting with alleged cartel member Vusimuzi Matlala, he was doing so on behalf of Lieutenant General Shadrack Sibiya. We know the latter does deny that claim, but everything points to all of those efforts being for Lieutenant General Shadrack Sibiya, and it can only be accepted that those impalas, the bank card that Sergeant Fanny Nkosi had to keep, it was so that he could keep up with whatever requests were being made allegedly by Lieutenant General Shadrack Sibiya. And it's key to have someone like that, who is the head of organized crime, on your corner if you're going to be doing alleged criminal acts such as allegedly drug trafficking and evidence of that nature, which we have seen Matlala tied to because he was sending bricks of cocaine to Mike van Wyk asking him to get a price. I think the inference there is quite clear. And it would make sense that Matlala would be giving all of these alleged favors to Lieutenant General Shadrack Sibiya, because of the kind of shield he could offer him. Not so much Sergeant Fanny Nkosi, who always appears in the evidence as someone who is running an errand, doing a favor, following an instruction. That's the pattern upon which we meet him. And Matlala is deliberately silent on that information in his initial statement and the supplementary because he understands the implications of that particular evidence and the fact that a lot of it before the probe you actually can't dispute. The impalas were on the farm. Sergeant Nkosi is in the text messages forwarding one message to the other. When Lieutenant General Shadrack Sibiya says, ask Kat to make a turn, He sends it to Sergeant Kosi. Sergeant Kosi then sends it to Kat Matlala, and we find out that he actually does make a turn. So the relationship does exist, but the way in which he paints it in the statement is vague and offers nothing. And it's about understanding why he doesn't want to go into that realm and what that realm could possibly reveal about what role Lieutenant General Shadrack Sibiya could have played for this alleged cartel and the persons of interest within it.
Well, Canny Maphanga will be here throughout the day for more analysis on what is happening here at the Madlanga Commission. But of course, you can also tune in via the SABC Plus app. If you still don't have it, make sure you get it because there's a pop-up channel there. And of course, the SABC YouTube. There's so many avenues through which you can keep abreast of developments, including staying with us here on SABC News. But for now, it's back to you, Leanne.
Yeah, thanks very much, Canny and Sakina.